Last week, our Canadian Liberal government brought out their 2024 federal budget. And as can be expected, there was a lot of resistance from all the political parties, the PCs and the NDP, on what was in this budget and what it was actually going to do. So what I've done is I've gone through some different segments of the population, and I'm going to outline in this video what it's going to do for those different folks, and if it's going to do anything at all for those different folks, and some of the promises that have been made over the last couple of years that people were expecting to see in the 2024 federal budget. So let's get started. We'll start off with the Canadian disabled population. Since 2019, the Liberal government has been what I'll call running around with a dog and pony show, saying how they're going to bring disabled people out of poverty. And a lot of time was spent in the House of Commons and in the Senate debating on how they were best going to do this. And a lot of disabled folks were expecting to be lifted out of poverty by this federal budget with funding for the new Canada Disability Benefit. But in the end, what ended up happening is, in reality, the Liberal government has stated that all they're going to provide is a $200 a month boost for disabled folks, and it isn't even going to start until the July of 2025, and that would be the maximum that a disabled person could receive. Now, that doesn't even come close to what we are all facing right now. If you're a disabled person, for the cost of living, the average disabled person gets about $1,200 a month, and the average rent is about $1,800 a month in Ontario. So the Liberal government gets a big X in regards to the disabled in this federal budget. Next up, let's look how the budget affects seniors. With the increase in the capital gains tax on any capital gains above $250,000, there is a lot of seniors that own cottages that are probably looking, hopefully in the future, to sell those cottages for income for their retirement, or pass them on to a next generation, as some of these cottages have been in families for maybe 100 years. And now they're going to have to lose a large portion of the profits that they might have gained on that property. Now, the other thing that some people might not realize is that any seniors that have stocks in the markets that aren't in a tax sheltered account like an RSP or a TFSA, when they go to sell those stocks, they're also going to be penalized at a 66% higher rate. So again, it's going to cost seniors a lot more money to pull money out of different investments, etc. So another big X for the federal budget when it comes to seniors. So how does the budget affect younger Canadians? Well, it affects them in a lot of ways. First of all, the $52 billion that the Liberal government is going to be spending as expenditures from this budget is going to cause inflation to stay elevated for a longer period of time, which means that younger Canadians are going to find it harder to pay rent and save for their home or any other things that they're trying to achieve. Secondly, if you think about where a younger couple might have their money while they are saving for that home, they're not going to put it in a 3.5% GIC to try to make their nest egg grow to buy that house to save for that down payment. That is going to be in the stock market and in a non-registered account, the same as seniors. So when it comes time to take that money out of that stock portfolio to try to buy that home, they're now going to be paying 66% on any money above $250,000. And I know $250,000 is a lot of money, and you wouldn't think that would be required for a down payment, but with the price of housing in Canada in the last couple of years, they could very well have a down payment above $250,000. All the different things that the Liberal government has been coming out with to so-called help people buy homes isn't necessarily going to do any good. They keep pounding a lot of money into all kinds of different programs that save money for developers by cutting out the GST and the HST and other incentives to developers to build homes. And the thing is that this isn't necessarily going to filter down to the young people that need these homes. It's going to help the developers. So again, I'm going to say that the Liberal government receives a nice big juicy X when it comes to helping younger Canadians in this budget. So how does the 2024 budget affect business and professionals? Well, if you've been watching the news in the last few days, one resource that we are in dire need of in Canada is going to be affected huge, and that is doctors. Doctors and a lot of other professionals in Canada and in Ontario especially, they rely on having what they call a professional corporation. And this allows a doctor to take his income each year from the fees that maybe the government is paying him or from his professional practice and not having to pay tax on that money each and every year. It allows them to build up assets in the professional corporation. So they might, buy the office or the building that they practice out of, or other pieces of equipment or assets. And over time, they build up assets in this corporation with the sole purpose of being able to draw on that corporation for income, maybe in retirement or down the road. So now what's going to happen is when they start to draw down on that money, they're going to be paying 66% on all those capital gains as opposed to 50% like it was before. And this isn't a good thing because we already have a massive shortage of doctors in our country. And all this is going to do is make them look south of the border or even some other countries to get a better shake when it comes to their income. Now, as far as businesses go, this is where the Liberal government is shooting themselves in the foot again, because when it costs a lot of money to do business in a country compared to other countries, like say, the US, companies are just going to say no. They're going to go somewhere else to do business because they just can't afford to pay the capital gains tax that and other taxes that Canada is demanding. So, as far as business and professionals go, the Liberal Party is going to get a big X again, and it's unfortunate because business is the backbone of a country, and so are the professionals, especially when it comes to doctors in Canada. So I'm giving them a big X on this one. Thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and you will be able to see future videos that I do, as well as the library of videos on similar subjects that I have done over the last few years. And of course, it's appreciated if you hit that like button. It helps out my videos and, with the YouTube algorithm as well. So thank you very much. Bye now.